Knitting has been proven to have a surprising meditative effect, and as a result, this age-old pastime has become very popular in the hectic times we live. Elaine Van Wyk started her business selling quality, colourful yarns and accessories to help make this relaxing and creative hobby easily accessible.
My love for yarn began when we travelled a lot overseas, and I realised that there's a lot more to yarn than what we used to get in South Africa. We used to get a lot of acrylic yarns, and I realised that yarns are made from linen and silk and peony wool and fibres that we didn't used to get in South Africa. I researched it and started buying some beautiful yarns and fibres from overseas, and then started importing it for the store as well. What I love the most about this craft is the fact that you're spending so much time doing this, and when you present something to somebody that you've made, you are actually giving something of yourself.
Different yarn materials can be developed for various results. Elaine and her team also dye their own yarn to create different colours.
The fibres that we use to dye ourselves is 100% wool in 2 different weights or thicknesses, as well as a blend of 70% bamboo and cotton mixture. The cotton and bamboo mixture is a lovely summer fibre that you can use for lightweight garments or even blankets, for a lightweight blanket. And the wool is 100% wool that you can use for warmer garments and blankets in winter.
The dyeing process is a relatively simple one, and we got to see just how it's done.
We are using 100% wool fibre. For that, you need to wash the wool beforehand to rid it of any oils or sediments that the yarn must have in order for the yarn to saturate the colour perfectly. We have saturated in a bath of a vinegar mixture. We use an acid dye, and the acid is to fix the colour to the wool. I've made 4 dye solutions, and we're going to start with hand painting it onto our hanks of yarn. We're going to start with a red yarn, and I use a sponge to paint it onto the yarn. So you can see it's nice and saturated, and we literally press the sponge onto the place where you want the red dye in the hank. So you can see it's a lengthy process. It doesn't just happen in a few seconds. I'm now going to use the blue dye solution. And press it so that it overlaps a little bit so that the colours flow into one another. The reason that I've decided to use different colours of dye is to create a variegated effect. The variegated effect ensures that when you're knitting, the colour changes by itself. I'm now going to use a yellow solution. When we fix the yarn, the acid, which was the vinegar, assists with fixing the colour to the wool, but we also need to apply some sort of heat, either by means of a microwave or steam fixing it. The colours looks very prominent right now, but as we wash it, it does wash out a little bit and it won't be such primary colours.
The end product is a mixed colour yarn that will create beautiful items when used for knitting. The dyeing process is a very interesting one, but there is a specific method that needs to be followed to get it just right.
What to look out for when you are dyeing 100% wool is not to expose it to extreme temperatures, either heat or cold. You need to keep the yarn within body temperature, around 32 degrees Celsius.
Companies like this who create proudly South African products are not only successful from a business perspective, but are very important for job creation in the country.
To have a business in South Africa means a lot to me because you can provide work for other people, but it's also very satisfying to think that you've built this up right from the beginning. If other people would like to get involved with this craft, I really would suggest that they go onto the internet and look for inspiration. The internet is full of beautiful things that people make, and they must come and visit us and see what we make and get inspired by the beautiful fibres and colours in our store.